Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Ifeoluwa. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to sew this bustier dress with Queen Anne's neckline. So I have a video of how to cut it already up on my channel. I'm going to put the link in the description box, or you can just check the video before this one. If you're also seeing this and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do want to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and also feel free to leave your questions or your comments in the comment section. Now let's get started, guys. So this is what I have after cutting out on fabric. This is my front pattern and that is my back pattern for the upper parts. Those are my sleeves and then the skirts. I have the skirts front pattern and the back pattern underneath. Now what I'll do first is to fix my darts. I'm going to notch those parts. Those are the dart legs. I'm going to notch them. Then I'll be using my needle and thread to fix where I'm going to stop sewing the darts. So I'm going to do exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going to do it for every part that has the dart. So that is the back pattern of the top, the skirt pattern, and then the back pattern of the skirt, the front and the back pattern of the skirt. So this way it is easier, and then you'll be able to fix your darts accurately. Now I'm going to be using this pattern to cut out the breast part I'll use for this bustier. That is the wording I'll be using. So I'm going to be coming down from that point by half an inch, so that it's not going to interfere with the neckline area. So I'll be coming down by half an inch there. I'll do it also at the upper part. So I'm going to connect it like that, cut out from that point to the under bust. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. You make sure they are equal. So whatever you have there, you put it on the side so that it's going to be equal. Then I'm going to connect it with a curve to the under bust. Now after cutting out the pattern paper, I'll proceed to cut out on my wording. So I'm going to be using this thick wording for it. I'm going to add half inch at the side. That is where the allowance is going to be. But for the upper part and lower part, you don't need to add any allowance, just at the side. Then you do the same thing for the other side. So this is what I have. Then I'm going to attach this to the fabric. I'm going to use my iron to gum it on my fabric. So for the fabric, I cut out stay for it. So I'm also going to iron that on the fabric. And then after ironing the stay, I'm going to iron the wording. This is it after sticking the wording to the fabric. You can see how it is in place. And then that is the stay too. So what I'm going to do now is just to join them together. Join the bustier front pattern together like so. Then you can see the darts. I already have my darts joined together. I have the back pattern here, and then the lining and the fabric, everything, I joined everything together already. Now I'm going to join this front pattern of the bustier together like so. So this is what I have after joining together. You can see the way our bustier is. So this is what you should have, and then you should make sure you iron it very well. Use your tailor's arm to iron it so that the curve is going to come out well. You won't have any sharp edge or the curve not being curvy enough. So this is what you should have after doing that. So guys, you make sure whatever you are doing for the fabric, for the main fabric, you're also doing for the lining. So you can see the lining there too. Now next thing I'm going to do is to join the top and the skirt together, the top part and the skirt together. Now you make sure that the darts align very well. That is the main reason why when we were cutting it, we placed the front pattern and the back pattern of the darts together. So you make sure they align perfectly well together. So you join the front, then you join the back separately. The fabric should be separate, the main fabric should be separate, while the lining too should be joined separately. So you do so for the front and then the back. So this is it after joining the skirt and the top parts together. You can see the way the darts are well aligned. Now the next thing we are going to do is to place the fabric together and then join the shoulders, the shoulder of the front and then the shoulder of the back together. So we are going to do it fabric separately and lining separately. Now after joining the shoulders, I'm going to sew up the neckline. I'm going to turn over the neckline with the lining. So this is it. Then this is the lining. So the right side of the lining should be facing the right side of the main fabric. So you start pinning from that point, that part of the neckline, that is the back. Then you pin the shoulders together. You make sure they are well aligned. You pin the midpoint of the front part and then you pin up to the end, and then you sew like that, and then you top stitch. So this is it after sewing the neckline and then top stitching. You can see the edges, you can see how neat they look, and then the V parts, you make sure it is as neat as that, and that edge part. So let me show you how to achieve that in case you don't know. By the time we are done sewing, before you top stitch, you make sure you notch out those parts, those edges, you notch them out, so that by the time you turn it over to the other side, it's going to come out very neat. You will see that the edges will come out, so you notch them before you top stitch. Now the next thing to do is to join the sides together. So the same pattern we've been using, the fabric separately and the lining separately, you join them separately like that with the 1.5 inches seam allowance, and then you align the waistline very well together so that it's going to come out equally. So this is it after joining the sides. Now I'm going to proceed to join the hem line. You should do the same way. The front pattern of the fabric should be facing the front pattern of the lining. So I'm going to join the hem line like so, using the 0.5 inches allowance that we took for the hem line. Now after doing the hem line, I'm going to proceed to join the zip allowance part. So I'm going to be joining that part by just 0.25 inches, just a little bit, because we want this to appear neatly finished when we are done. So you just join it by 0.25 inches, and then by the time you get to the end here, you know, you would have joined the hem line already. So you see that you're going to have something like this. So the fabric will be showing instead of the lining, so you join it that way. So this is it after joining the hem line and then the zip allowance part. So you can see what I'm saying along that area. So that is what you're going to have there if you follow the way I cut it. Now we're going to turn the fabric over to the front. So I'm going to be using the space from the armhole there to bring out the fabric so that you can turn it over to the front. The next thing to do now is to fix the zip. So from that waistline there, I'm going to measure out the hip depth so that by the time you're wearing it, it's going to pass through your hip. So I have 9 inches as mine. I'll measure that out and then I'll sew down like that. But before that, I'm going to measure out the slit. So my slit length is 10 inches. So I'm going to sew from that point of my 9 inches down to the part of the slit. Then I'll fix my zip. So this is my zip after fixing. You can see the waistline area, they must align together, so you make sure you pin that very well before fixing. So that is what I have. Then for the slit area, I'm just going to fold that part like that. That is how I want my slit to be. It depends on, for this slit part, it depends on how you want it to be. So but for mine, this is just what I want. This is just how I want the slit to look like. Now that the slit is done, I'm going to proceed to fix my sleeves. I'll fix the sleeves. So I already fixed one part of the sleeve, then this is the other part. So for the sleeves, you know that you have to first of all hem that part, then you sew the sides together before joining to this armhole. So you can see the one I already fixed. I'm going to fix the other side too, the same way I did that. So this is what I have. Our dress is now complete. So you make sure you iron this very well before you wear. And then if you want to do any adjustment to this dress, you know that everywhere now has been closed. If you want to do any adjustment, you just open up one of the sides of the lining, just open it up a little bit, and then you bring it out to the other side, and then you can do any adjustments you want to do on it. So guys, this is the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.